Hello and welcome to the Electronic Mustard Farm. Today we look at, this one is located in Oregon, USA. The cultivation process of hop farms. Hop scientific name snake hemp. Latin humulus loculus. English is hop. It is used for brewing beer due to its tidbits. So it is commonly known as hops in China. It's a perennial vine, cold resistant and heat resistant, great demand for sunlight. And where in the world can meet this condition? Exists only in the south, a narrow strip between 35 and 55 degrees north latitude. In northern Xinjiang, my country, there are also hops wild growing resources. First of all, in the spring, worker, you need to get ready for a year of farming. The first step is to check the vines used for hops. Climbing support stakes. Is it still in good condition? Reinforce a loose stake. Replace the rotten stakes. This type of wooden pile typically reaches 5.5 meters or higher. Between the stakes, use gold wire of iron or steel wire to connect. First, remove the gold thread and nails fixed on the top. Replace the stake. After reinforcing the stakes, also need to check the rest of the gold thread. Steel wires are inspected and reinforced. Using a tractor to plow the land again. Put the withered hops, straw, and weeds break into the soil together. This will not only loosen the soil, pest reduction, it also increases the fertility of the soil. And then the next big step, it's on the wire rope horizontally. Tie the brown rope evenly. Skilled workers are often required here. They can tie the knot with both hands at the same time. Whereas the average worker can only tie knots one by one. Standing on the height platform with the tractor can greatly improve work efficiency. This agricultural association consists of many family farms. Degradable brown rope is required to meet environmental requirements, and not like a Ukrainian hop farm. Use more economical plastic rope. Workers on the ground use a tool rope wrapped and inserted into the ground. Guarantee the position of each plant. There are 2 for hemp ropes to climb. Technicians still need to test and check whether the drip irrigation system is normal. Propagation of hops. Common are rhizome propagation and cuttings propagation. Hops have developed underground after winter. The rhizomes lie dormant underground and store a lot of nutrients in it. Wait until early spring. Workers would dig up rhizomes from the ground, take the sturdy passages and propagate. They were rounded up, planted in gallon pots for temporary planting. After sprouting in spring, go to pots and plant them in the fields with soil. There are also rhizomes that are directly used in the field. To cultivation methods, mainly depends on the different varieties of hops. The second option for hop propagation, it's cuttings. Used in off-season greenhouses, cutting seedlings, they can be cultivated with inoculated plants. These seedlings are already growing, so they can reproduce more than roots. Planting comes later. Some new varieties of hops. We need to expand our breeding. Use resistance compensation or cuttings. Produce a large number of seedlings in a short time. Shortly after the hops are planted in the fields, green shoots emerge from the ground. It is very important to check plants early in their growth. Any early signs of avoiding white mold need to be dealt with in time. Wait until the vines of the plant climbing in all directions. At this time, the workers need to put the vines. Wrap it around the hemp rope. Make sure they're all going up. Usually use 3 different teeth to grab into a handful. Wrap clockwise onto a hemp rope. Such an operation, throughout the growth process, it may need to be corrected several times. Workers also need to remove excess growing vines. Make sure the vines on the hemp rope grow well. It will need multiple corrections until May-June. The whole thing is growth agent. Until the opening of the summer solstice, the hops start to bloom. Hops are male and female. This burlap flower is a bare flower, and the one full of packets is the female flower. They're ripened fruit. It became our common hops. In fact, hops are its fruit. A cone formed with a slice of bread. Different hops, available in different ball shapes and flavors. Here, we show several hops and fruit ball shapes. They have fruit balls of different lengths, packages of various shapes. Some call the police, some of them spread out. The structure of hops is similar to the shape of small berries. Under the pedestal are linked and supported by many clumps. At the base of each packet is the tongue hemp thread. Hop seeds. It's actually two bumps at the base of the packet. The wraps play a similar role to flowers. It protects hop seeds. The base tongue line will secrete alpha acid, a yellow resinous substance of beta acids and essential oils. These are the sources of the bitterness and aroma of beer. The usual harvest period for hops, from late summer to early autumn every year. Wait until the dry matter inside the fruit reach about 20% minus 23%. It's the window period for picking. Sometimes this content can be reduced within a day, increased rapidly to meet the harvest criteria, so hops have a very short maturation period. Old masters with many years of experience, it is also necessary to pay attention to the status of the fruit in a timely manner to seize the opportunity to pick. Harvesting hops is also hard work because the harvest window is very short. Sometimes even at night you need to start harvesting. First, the worker drives the bottom first. Tractor with blade cutting. Open every row of hops paper beads. Use a rotating blade to put beer. All flowers are cut from the base near the ground. Then the top harvesting machine crosses the row. From the top of the bracket, cut off the whole hop vine. The vines fell into the delivery truck below. Then it was trucked back to the farm processing area. Hop vine. We'll use a hop separator to separate. Hop ball. What we see. It is a relatively common hop separator. Workers first put the vines of hops. It's stuck on the conveyor belt or the hook on it. Then it orbits into the separator to separate the hops from the plants. The hops are separated from the separator. It also carries a lot of plant residues through the vibrating screen on the conveyor belt. Separation methods such as blowing separation screen. Hops can be separate from these impurities. Isolated into plant fragments. There is usually a separate conveyor belt to take away the heat. Isolated hops and fruit balls will be evenly delivered to a large drying room for drying. Hop fruit. It's laid out evenly in the drying room. The thickness reached 0.5 to 1 meters. Hot air at 48 to 65 degrees Celsius will be forced into the entire drying room. The purpose of drying hops is to reduce the moisture content of hops. For better storage capacity, hops are picked with about 75% humidity. In order to maintain the quality of hops, after drying, the humidity of the hops is approximately 10%. Cold. Then the dried hops will be shipped to the packaging. District is here. Hops will be compressed, packed into square blocks. They're put on trucks and transported to refrigerated warehouses. In the hops harvest season, the entire warehouse area lines will fill up with hops. Packed hops. The bundles fill the entire warehouse area. The hops will be in the front row of the warehouse before warehousing. In a row at the same time, the operator will bundle all income, conduct key moisture and quality spot checks. All packages are required to accept strict quality requirements. Workers will check with carbon needles. Is the moisture content of hops up to standard? And take a central sample back to the lab. Analyze the quality of aromas and juices. Only high-quality hops can leave the farm. Hop bundles that have passed quality inspection. It will be stacked in a refrigerated warehouse at 0 degrees Celsius. The hops will stay in the bundle until it was used as a dried hop all night long, delivered to the brewing customer, or process it into other hop products. Here we introduce hop products. The first type of hop product is fresh hops. Just fresh hops. It has a short shelf life, even just a few dozen hours. So, they're not always ready for large-scale industrial applications. The second is hops. It's dried hops pressed into cuboids. They kept the twine intact. But since the whole fruit is made into dried flowers, their effective finished product extraction efficiency is lower, only 25 to 30%. And then there's the hop pellets. This is the most common variety. Pellets are being made. We'll follow different processes. Remove part of the outer wrap. Keep the active ingredients of snake hemp filling. This increases the extraction efficiency. Can reach 35%. The corresponding cost has also increased. The fourth is the net height of hops. This is a kind of extraction using carbon dioxide and other media. Complete removal of impurities. Keep only hops resin, essential oils, and other products of these substances. It's much more utilized. It's smaller, more convenient for storage and transportation, but this extraction process also makes it more expensive. And finally, hop net height. When brewing, alpha acid will be readily available when heated. Tesco hops net height. Make alpha acid easy to scale in advance. Such a hop net height product will have a big advantage. That is, it can be added at any stage of the brewing process to precisely mix the bitterness of beer. And then finally, these hop products, it will be sent to beer brewers around the world. Drink in the hands of the player. It ended up being a bottle of beer in our fridge. And finally, if you like my video, please help me pay attention. Little red heart.